Hey class, so yesterday we talked about U.S. imperialism and the Spanish-American War, which left the U.S. with international territories. Can anybody name a territory? Well, I hope you said Puerto Rico because that's where we're taking a field trip today. If you remember, the Treaty of Paris was signed to give the U.S. Puerto Rico. We were not supposed to keep all of these territories forever. For example, the Treaty of Paris also gave the U.S. sovereign power over Cuba, and we granted Cuba their independence. However, we still have Puerto Rico as a U.S. territory today. This definitely impacted its development, economically, politically, and in terms of human geography. Today, we are going to take a look at modern-day Puerto Rico by looking at how the historic part of its capital city, San Juan, has been transformed to meet the current needs of the territory. This historic part is called Old San Juan. So you guys might be wondering how we're going to be able to take a field trip. We aren't quite able to get in our car and drive to Puerto Rico like we could to Washington, D.C. or Savannah and other parts of the U.S., so we are going on a virtual field trip. Get ready to put your Google Cardboards to use. All right, so let's take a look around downtown San Juan before we start looking at specific parts of it. Being a very small Caribbean nation, it has to economically rely a lot on the tourism industry to make its money. So one of the first things that we will be looking at, we'll click on the cruise ship. And the Port of San Juan is a major economic stronghold for the island. The cruise industry brings in tons of tourists who visit all the local restaurants and stay at the hotels, museums, restaurants, and they spend money. And also this is for shipping goods in and out of the country. Another place we can look at is this downtown San Juan Sheraton, which is where a lot of hotel guests would stay, and it overlooks the water, which is, of course, a major attraction to tourists. A lot of movies and different destination events like weddings and ceremonies and concerts are held in Puerto Rico. So this Antiguo Casino de Puerto Rico serves as an awesome venue for these destination events. Also, one major draw of Puerto Rico is its rainforest. Many people come here to explore the rainforest and many waterfalls. So we're going to take a look at this YouTube video that's going to tell us more about the rainforest. Also, for a fun fact, diving into a little bit of Puerto Rican society, you might be thinking maybe that they drive on the left side of the road. But fun fact, in Puerto Rico, they actually drive on the right side of the road. Many Caribbean islands, such as Grand Cayman, they drive on the left side of the road, and that's because they were colonized by Great Britain. In Great Britain, they drive on the left side of the road, whereas the U.S. drives on the right side of the road, and Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. So let's take one more good look around this beautiful island nation. I hope now, through our exploration of Puerto Rico, you are now able to successfully identify a U.S. territory and explain how it economically thrives and how people within this territory's everyday lives rely on the tourism industry. I hope now you know many of the main attractions that bring people to Puerto Rico, and also you are able to see the influence of the U.S.'s sovereignty over the nation, like in the driving example that we talked about.